Hi guys, welcome back to 15th video tutorial of J2W. In this tutorial we're going to discuss about prepared statement. So why we need prepared statement, as we are already having a statement interface which is actually used for executing queries. The reason is this statement interface will not allow you to pass the values dynamically. This statement interface will actually takes the values statically. When you're preparing a query, you should pass the values statically, then only this statement object will be performed insert or update or delete operations. So it is not possible to statement object to pass the values dynamically. That is the reason we got prepared statement. Let me describe. Suppose you have a Java class which is about Java app to add or update or delete products. So there is a Java app available which is actually used for adding or updating or deleting the products. So what this application will do is, this application will perform all the operations in database. So what this methods will have, this particular Java application is having methods like add product, update product, finally delete product. So these having all set of operations whatever we want to do, and what customer requirement is like, if you all hard code all the values, like if you're adding a product, so you just need to hard code 102. If I want to add one more product which is laptop, if I want to add it, it is not possible in if you are using statement interface. So what customer is required is, what other class you want, you can use it, but I want this particular class Java application whatever you wrote, I just want to reuse them with other classes. The other source can be either other Java class or browser. So from browser he can use some HTML code, he can able to pass this values, what are the values we have. With that, this particular Java application need to perform the operations so that the DB will be updated. Suppose in browser or some other Java class, he just want to perform add a new record which is 102 pencil, he just want to add it. This method actually dynamically take these values, it should add the values. Or else he just want to add a product called laptop, so he just give the details like 103 ID and product code and laptop product name, and what else, quantity and the price. So whatever you want, he just want to add these values dynamically, not to hard code in this. So if you want, he can add some other product like mobile phone or something. He can he just want to add the product dynamically. He don't know which product he's supposed to add it, and this particular Java application functionality should be, it should take the dynamically the values, it should insert the values with the statement object, with the statement interface. What are the statement we have with this, it is quite impossible. This particular operations, what are the operations we need to perform, this operation with the statement object, it is quite impossible. That is the reason Java JDBC API is introduced a new class which is called as prepared statement. So with prepared statement, what are the operations we're supposed to do? It is possible. So with the statement it is not possible. With the prepared statement it is possible to execute what are the operations you want. You can able to perform it. So for that reason we just need to use prepared statement instead of this statement object. How prepared statement is actually differs. Suppose this insert query, what are the insert query we have in statement object. So how prepared statement actually looks differs. The difference will be the same. The prepared statement also will use the similar structure of insert query, but let me insert text here. But instead of these values, it will not keep the values, it will actually keep the placeholder. Just keep the placeholder which is question mark, and so these are the prepared statement looks like. In terms of statement, we just need to have all the values to be available within the query itself. But in terms of prepared statement, we don't need to have values, we just need to have the placeholders itself. With the placeholders we can able to achieve the insert or delete or update operations. So that's a major difference between the statement and the prepared statement. And the values whatever we are passing from the other Java class or some other application, these values will be picked up and these values will be replaced with this insert query, and finally the query will be prepared. At the end, whatever the query we have, that set of query will be prepared from prepared statement. This particular query will be passed to the database. So finally, this particular query will be passed to database. So even if you create a statement object and a prepared statement, this query will be found to database. But the difference is in a statement object, you just need to prepare the query first, and you cannot able to modify. If some other class is supposed to pass the values, but with the statement query, there's no use. But with the prepared statement, it is possible to prepare query dynamically with the dynamic values. What are the values you're giving? Let's go to the practical and we'll implement this code. So for this, let me have a class which is new class prepared statement example. In this, I'll be having methods like public void, what is the method? Add product. And this particular add product will take parameters like product ID, product code, product name, and quantity and the price. First one will be product code, which is integer. So the first one is product ID. The second one will be product code, which is string. The third one will be product name, which is again string. And the price, not price, the quantity. It's an integer. And finally, price, which is float. So these are all the parameters it is taking as we discussed, and we need to have the DB operations. Before performing DB operations, make sure we should have try catch mechanism. E dot print stack trace. So what are the steps? The JDBC steps are, the first one will be load driver class. Second one will be create connection object, and the third step will be create statement object. So here in our example, we are not creating statement object. We need to create prepared statement instead of statement object. And the last step will be close connection. So these are all the operations we have to perform. The first step will be loading a driver class. Loading a driver class, there is no difference between here and there. I just copy this code, and creating connection also the same. And the difference comes in creating a statement object. Instead of creating a statement object, we need to create the prepared statement class object. So like how we are getting connection dot create statement, the same way, like from the connection object only we will be getting prepared statement as well. Let me try that. Connection dot prepared, you can see here connection dot prepared statement, which is actually returning prepared statement object type. So there are different types of methods available in prepared statement. One is taking plain SQL, and other is taking auto generated keys and column indexes and all. So let's go with the basic now. It's a prepared statement with very basic SQL query, and the return type will be prepared statement, which is also from java.sql package pst. And now the actual stuff, which is the SQL query. Let me have this query copied. So instead of hard coding these values, I'm just putting placeholders here. So these are the real-time industry will actually use the JDBC code. They won't use statement at all other than the select query for inserting or updating and all. People is actually preferring to use prepared statement. So now we replaced with our placeholders, and now we have to see how to set these placeholders with the parameters whatever we're getting. The way is, you just need to have prepared statement is providing set of methods which is actually used for setting these placeholders. The first one will be, if you see the first placeholder, it belongs to this product ID, which is the type of integer. So prepared statement is actually providing a set of methods with respect to all the data types. The first one in our case, it's a first placeholder is type of integer. So for that we have a method called setInt. See, it is taking two parameters. One is parameter index. So what is the index for the first placeholder, and the value, the actual value. The first index is 1 and the value will be the product ID. That's it. The same way for the second placeholder, which is product code, the type is string. So we have a setter method for string as well. pst dot set string of, its a index is 2 and value is product code. Likewise, we have for third placeholder, it is also again a string which is product code. Set string of 3, the value will be product code. The fourth will be quantity, which is integer again. est dot set int of 4 and the value will be quantity. And the last one is est dot set, it's a type of float, it's not a string or int, it's a float. So we have a method called set float of index is 5 and the value will be the price. That's it. So we are done preparing the prepared query, prepared statement object. Now thing is we just need to execute this. So as we are doing the modification within a table, so we need to perform execute update query, like how we did in statement query. The same way we have to perform execute update. But in this case, if you will see in the prepared statement object, we need to pass the query. If you are calling execute update, you need to pass the query. But here in prepared statement, we don't need to pass the query because the query is already prepared and it is there with the statement object. We just need to call method called execute update without parameters. And again, it is also returning integer number, which refers the number of rows affected. Let's save that value. And print that value for reference. Can put number of products added. So how many number of products it's added, it will show in the result. And finally, the fourth step, you just need to close the connection. That's it. So we are done with the add method. So this portion is done, and we have other methods called update and delete. Let me have a method syntax for that. Update void delete. So we can see these methods later. For now, let's go and test this method, which is add product, how it is actually taking parameters and all. So for now, we created this class with 3 methods, which is add product and update and delete methods. Update product or delete product, you can name it anyway. So we have 3 methods available and one got implemented. Let's test with this method. So the test method will be the other Java class. You can have n number of Java classes, not only one. You can have n number of classes. You can use it at your choice. So in this, sorry, let me draw. It's good to draw. Suppose there is other Java class which is actually adding a product called mobile. Mobile price is something, and so let me keep some random values. So you can have n number of clients for this, and all the clients will actually reuse the same class for adding a product. So they don't need to have the queries predefined. The same method will be useful for calling n number of clients. So these one client of class and this one client of class, and n number of clients can use the same kind of utility class. So with the statement it is not possible, with the prepare statement it is possible. Let me create a class, a client class, which is test prepared statement example. So here I'll be having a main method. So in our case, this class belongs to prepared statement example, and our client class is one of the client classes, which is test prepared statement. So you can name this class as test prepared statement 2 or something, test 2, something, any name. So you can name it anything, and let me have it here. And now our intention is we need to have these values, and we just need to call this prepare statement class add method. Let me create an object for that first. Obj equal to our product utility. I can name it anything, equal to new. So the object name you can keep it anything. I'll just name it as product utility, because with this utility I can able to perform all the operations with the products. So product utility dot add method. So we can have all the methods, delete and add product, delete product, and update product also will be there. Update product also there, but we just provide implementation for add product. Let me use this one. And now I'm just adding a new product with these details. Let me check in the database what data we have so far. Without seeing this, I cannot add duplicate values. So pen and pencil we have. Let me add a laptop. So the product ID is, the IDs what we have is 101, 102. Let me add a new value which is 1003. The product code is LAP, laptop. The value will be Lenovo laptop, some value. The quantity I need is 10, and the price of each laptop is 40,000. So this is a float value, that's the reason I'm just putting F. So that's it. So you can have one more class which is actually adding the mobile, or you can use the same method and you can have one more method call which is adding mobile, or you can have a separate class there you can add mobile. So that's how we can reuse it. And let me run this program. What this does is, first this is actually initializing the object for this prepared statement example, then it is calling this product method. In product method, first the parameters are coming here, and first it will actually load the class and prepare the connection object and prepared statement object with placeholders. And now it is actually setting the values dynamically whatever we are getting from the parameters, and finally it will actually execute the records and it will print the results. Let's run this code. So the record got inserted. Let me check in the DB whether the record got added or not. See, the laptop got added. So these are we can able to perform add operation, and not only the add operation, you can able to perform all other operations like the update and delete operations. Let me give this update operation to you as assignment, and let me work on this delete operations. We can perform one more operation here. So the steps will be, what are the steps we followed? It will be almost same. The first one is loading a driver class and creating connection till it is same. Let me code here. Let me have a try catch. So I have try catch block available. and the first step is loading a driver class and creating connection object. Let me copy till here because these steps are common everywhere. And the third step is preparing creating prepared statement object. So as we see, prepared statement from java.sql pst equal to connection dot prepare statement of delete query. So what is the delete query you have? Just keep it here. So instead of the value, we're just going to replace with a placeholder. So we're not keeping the value here, we're just replacing with placeholder. This particular placeholder will be the product ID. The product ID, this value I'm taking from parameter. So int product ID, and for prepare statement I'm setting that value pst dot set int of first index. It's a product ID. That's it. Let's execute this code. pst dot execute update and store the results in results and print the value. So we're just printing the value at the last. Don't forget, we need to close the connection. Connection dot close. That's it. So what we have done, we just implemented a method which is delete product. Delete product actually taking product ID, and we have a delete query prepared in a prepared statement, and this product ID is passing us dynamically from the parameter, and we are executing the query and we are closing the connection. Let me call this method product utility dot delete product of, what is the product ID? We supposed to delete this particular laptop, or if you want to delete anything, you can choose dynamically. Suppose if I want to delete this particular pencil, so here at your choice we can use anything. 1.2. I'm just deleting this product which is pencil. So this product I'm deleting now. So before that, let me comment out the previous code which is adding a product. So now we are not performing any add operations, we're just deleting record. So just what I'm doing is I just created a object for this class and I'm calling delete product method. So now we have 3 records available. Let me execute this code. See, products got deleted 1. Let's go and check the DB. Select star from products. See, the pencil got deleted. 1002 got deleted. Now we have only 1 record. So if you want, you can perform one more operation, which is 1003. If you want, you can delete this record as well. See how simple it is. If in terms of select the query, we need to prepare the query every time and we need to pass the values. But with the prepared statement, it is making our life simple. It's simply deleting record without worrying, without thinking about the query every time. Also, if you see in the database perspective, there is a performance wise also the prepared statements are faster. Let me explain how these prepared statements are faster compared to with the statement objects. Suppose if you have a statement object, suppose if you have a statement object, let me take a different symbol for that. So that's a statement object, and we have prepared statement object. So statement object, and we have prepared statement object. So we have both types of objects. What happens is in the database, whenever you're performing a statement object operation, if you're doing an insert or delete or any update queries, or with the prepared statement, what will happen is whenever you're passing a query, any query, so whenever you're passing a query, then this query, particularly one query one, will be the whole query will be copied. This is actually moved to DB, and it will actually perform the operation. And if you are preparing one more query, which is query 2 with the same insert, or I can let me name it this way, so you can get clear picture out of it. So it's a insert insert 1, also which is having a record called a laptop. What will happen is this particular query will be copied, the query will be copied and executed in database first. Then again, if you are creating one more insert query, insert mobile or something, then what will happen is this query again copied to DB, and it will execute that second insert query. In terms of prepared statement, what will happen is, so once you prepared any insert query, so here we are not passing values, right? Insert query, and this insert query will be copied to database. So this will be copied to database, and whenever you're making the parameters dynamic, suppose if you're inserting a laptop at first, what will happen is with the prepare statement, this insert query actually keep in database cache. So this insert query, whatever that insert query you have given, this insert query actually remains in database cache. Very good. So what will happen is this, what are the insert query you're preparing, that insert query will be copied to database cache. Within the database cache, this insert query will store, and what are the values you're passing dynamically, only it will pick those values and it will update this insert query with these values. Even if you're passing one more insert query, which is laptop, and if you're passing one more attribute, which is mobile. So this again update this insert query, it will execute. See the difference with the statement. Every time whenever you're creating a insert record for the laptop and mobile, every time this query will be passed to database, it will execute that query. And for the same insert query, again you're passing the value, only the difference, there's no difference in insert query, you just sending the mobile as a parameter. Again it is taking the whole query and it is executing. But in terms of prepared statement, when you're preparing a query, the first time, whenever you're calling the first time, the DB call, it will actually keep that query in DB cache, that insert query. When you're modifying the parameter alone, then it will actually replace the placeholders. What are the placeholders? We have it in insert query. That placeholders, it will actually replace those values. Even if it is one value or more than one value, it will replace those values, it will execute. With this, the database actually performs faster than the statement execute queries. So what are the queries coming from statement? If it is taking 10 milliseconds, means this prepared statement will execute within 1 to 2 milliseconds. So that much faster it is, because it is the whole insert query is actually maintaining in DB cache. It's not actually every time, it is actually not looking for the insert queries. Just look for the parameters, it will just replace the values and it will execute. So these are major difference between the statement and prepared statement interfaces. And make sure guys, if you explain this much to the interviewer, that will be more than enough, and you will be more than qualified. So with this, we have done with the prepared statement, and now the next tutorial we're going to discuss about the metadata related information, which is about the result set metadata and the database metadata, and further we're going to discuss about the transaction related details. Suppose here we are actually not maintaining any transaction. Sorry, where is my Eclipse? So here we are not maintaining any transaction. So if you want to maintain any transaction and all, how to do that, you can see it in transaction management, and later we can discuss about the batch processing, and if you have some miscellaneous topics, then we can see it later. So make sure you should remember this diagram for differentiating the statement and prepared statement. And so these are the real time is actually using only the prepared statement. For only selecting select queries, we'll be using statement object, and for all other data modification operations, we'll be using prepared statement, because it's maintained the cache, it performs better than the statement interface. So that's it guys, thanks for watching. We can catch it in next tutorial. Thank you.